Hey, welcome to another video. This episode will be going through a warm-up study sketch I did based on some references. You'll see the whole thing from sketch to final image, and I will also tag along and talk about the process. My name is Victor, I'm a concept artist and illustrator, and I really hope you guys will enjoy this video and find it helpful. So let's start. After placing the horizon line, I moved on with a very simple rough linework sketch. Just a few compositional lines to make sure I know where I want things to be and roughly how I want them to look like. I don't spend a lot of time on the sketch because I like to fill in my main elements, the planes and everything with value and color as soon as possible, and also establish the mood quite soon in the process. Now, this image is based on a bunch of reference photos I found, so I guess it's a really cool exercise. Instead of just doing a study based on one photo reference, you can combine different references and take different elements from each one and try to make the whole thing. So for example, you can take the lighting scenario from one image and combine it with the subject matter of another one, and combine different elements and so on. I guess it would be a cool little workout. Alright, so now I've removed the sketch because I've already blocked in quite a bit of value and color, and as soon as you do that, you might want to try and start comparing the values you assign to the shapes and make sure that there is a nice relationship going on. I'm going to keep working on the foreground, and I guess a good recommendation would be to work with larger brushstrokes at first and try to keep in mind the big picture instead of just dwelling into details or maybe some nuances you noticed in the references and you really want to capture them. That can come later, but for now try to figure out the whole mood and the look of the image. Use larger brushstrokes, especially for the foreground, just to have a graphic look and to have everything clean for now. You can obviously reduce the size the further away you are from the foreground, just to indicate that there's a perspective happening and the lines and the textures you're using in the background are more compressed. I'm trying to introduce some color variation and edge variation to the grass in the foreground, and then I spent quite a bit of time on the mountains in the background since I noticed they're kind of left unattended, so I wanted to show some shadow shapes and kind of like show a little bit of form happening there. And another interesting thing I noticed that as soon as I press record screen button on software and I start painting, I feel like I'm a little bit rushed for some reason and I don't really understand why is this happening, but I guess maybe it's like I feel sort of pressed to make sure that I'm painting as efficiently as fast as possible. But the thing is that it's not necessarily good. Actually, it's not good at all. The slower you work and the more careful you are with your painting and the more deliberate you are with your brushstrokes, the faster you will reach your goal. Basically, the slower you paint, the faster the result. And it's kind of a common sense thing, but quite a while ago I wasn't so sure about it because I was really trying to get a good speed at painting, and yeah, in the long run it's not helping at all. So I think I should somehow counter it or try to be conscious about it, because when I'm recording these videos, there's quite a bit of difference between this stuff and the personal stuff I do or the images I do at work. There's a little bit of difference of approaches, and it's really interesting why it's happening, but I guess I'll just try to be conscious about it and somehow try to counter it. I really wanted to ask you guys, how do you feel about your painting process? Do you find yourself sometimes being a bit impatient, maybe trying to speed things up and going through the image at a higher tempo, maybe overpainting everything you don't like and quickly applying your brushstrokes? Or do you have sort of like a more composed, slower manner of working? You're trying to apply your brushstrokes more deliberately? I really wonder, because I noticed this for myself and I think I should be a bit more proactive about fixing it. I'm spending some time on the boat, and I should probably make sure, but by the end of the painting, the biggest amount of contrast should be around this place, around my focal point, and the largest value range also should be here. Now I'm defining a little bit the water, and I guess the last thing would be to take care of the sky and those mountains in the background, try to figure out how the vegetation might look. Also adding some cool contrasting marks on the boat in hopes that it will aid the composition and it will improve the read of the focal point, kind of add a little bit more contrast based not only on value but also on color. Alright guys, this is the final image. Thanks for sticking till the end. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe found it helpful. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing, it helps a lot. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video, coming soon.